wow. Just wow. I mean, every once in a while we get a near perfect episode, something that connects all the dots, that brings in all the storylines that came before it and opens up the new possibilities of where we are going next. And that has happened this week on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We have history, we have backstory, we've got new equipment, we have amazing performances, great writing, and just an extremely tight episode that moves from beginning to end with no wasted time. This is S.H.I.E.L.D. the way we have envisioned it to be, a superhero espionage show in the best way possible. It's the secrets behind the ATCU and the history of Hydra. All that and more on this week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 8. 2 heads, 1 tail. Okay, so here is your official spoiler warning. Going ahead, if you have not seen the episode, you are going to be getting so much information. In fact, just turn this off right now if you haven't seen the episode. Turn it off, go watch it, and then come back. So much happens. If you miss it, you are going to be totally lost. Everything in this episode really is just amazingly well done. There isn't, like I said before, any wasted time. There is no, oh, this happened, now let's wait, halfway through the episode and then maybe we'll come up and discuss it. No, forget that. From the very beginning, where Coulson and Rosalind are getting a little chummy and Max sees it, he doesn't wait a day. He doesn't go down the line. He immediately comes up and asks Coulson, what is going on? You two are getting too close. I'm worried. What's Coulson's response? Come on downstairs. I got a meeting for all of us. This is Operation Spotlight. We are going to find out every dirty, dark secret the ATCU has, and we're going to expose it. Anything that is in there, we want to know about it. And they do. Bobby and Hunter go in undercover. We've got May and Lincoln, which was an interesting little pairing. May grabbing Lincoln, scaring the bejesus out of him expecting that she's about to tear him apart at any moment. Just really nice work done. Bringing Rosalind in and having that little back and forth where we're deceptively sending this in and then you're responding off of that, but we're actually meaning to bring in these two people as the secret FBI. It's just a really nice elements of that espionage, the back and forth, the gameplay all around. Really nicely done. Coulson in this is fabulous. Really just lynching down to the core of his character. We get a little history off of him. He was recruited into S.H.I.E.L.D. directly out of college. He was a history major, and in his studying of history, he started finding S.H.I.E.L.D.'s hand in so much of it. S.H.I.E.L.D. wanted him on their team. His appreciation for the golden age of back in the 60s, which of course is referring back to Marvel's golden age of comics. It's just really nice little moments peppered in with the story. I think keeps things going smoothly and nice fan service for everyone. And his direct encounter with Rosalind at the end when he locks her up in the room and just lays in on her. He doesn't want to play any more games. He doesn't want to any more. Despite the attraction, I think there is obviously an attraction from her to him, and even from him to her. He is putting that aside in order to get to the answers. And there's a lot of great interplay back and forth where Rosalind is protective and accusing Coulson of being deceptive and a cold individual. You really don't know where she stands until he brings up the fact that Hunter and Bobby have discovered that they are actually, that the ATCU is not researching a cure, but they are trying to they're trying to expose as many people as possible to the Terrigen compounds to try and create as many Inhumans as possible. They're not trying to keep Inhumans away. They are trying to build an army of them. And the minute that is exposed out, we really get to see that Rosalind is an unwitting pawn. She has been played, and she is a good person. Now, this could deceptively be just her playing that up to get even closer in. I don't think so. If any of the acting performances are accurate, and they are, because these are amazing, amazing performers, the story that's told in their eyes and their interaction is that she is not Hydra. She is not behind this. She thinks the ATCU is exactly what she has been telling Coulson that it is, and is unaware that what they're secretly doing is working for Hydra. The bits between Gemma and Fitz are really nice. The tension between them has been building and building, and the fact that Fitz just is unwaveringly supportive of Gemma and trying to open up the portal and trying to find the history behind that just is finally too much for her, and she blows it in the explosion of basically saying, why are you being a perfect guy? You should be mad, you should be crazy, you shouldn't be this calm about it. And of course he's not. He's holding all of that in. He's being torn apart. He's looked into Will. He's trying to find as much dirt as he can, and he can't. He has no excuse to hate this guy. The only thing that he has really legitimately is respect and appreciation. This man helped get Gemma through that experience on the alien planet. And the tension between the two of them, his insistence that they are cursed, that they were together for a long time, but they didn't know that they had this little connection, and the minute that was exposed, the universe has worked hard to keep them apart. Why? Well, ultimately it's because unrequited love is better for ratings. But from a storyline standpoint, it's just really nice. I mean, even when they did have that moment and they did have their first kiss, you could see the emptiness there. They both want it. He wants it, she wants it, but the timing just isn't right. As Fitz says as he wanders off in repetition of his mantra, we're cursed. We're hoping that is not something that will perpetuate long. And then we get to Ward and Gideon Malik. Well, first let's talk about Ward, who is awesome in this. Ward Free is incredible. Brett Dalton's performance, he's got to be relishing this. Ward is monologuing in beautiful fashion. He's torturing, but he's very direct. He has a goal, and he is unwaveringly headed for it. He's not wasting time. He's not doing silly stuff. He will torture till he gets the information, clear stuff out, then get out on the next mission. His speech on the airplane, on the intercom, is my new favorite bit. That was just hilarious. He doesn't care. He can be honest and straightforward with people about how bad he is and what he is doing. He does not care. And then when he runs into Gideon finally in Von Strucker's vault, and then we get the secret history of Hydra, it really just opens up the doors. It's really nice also to get that history on Malik before we go into Hydra. One, we get to find out that he is actually playing the same character that he portrayed in Avengers. I know we didn't see his face, we just heard his voice, but they do mention, or Rosaline does mention when he gives a little history of how she had met Malik, that he was on the World Security Council, that he is an advisor to the president, that he worked with NASA back in 2001, which connects him back up to Will and the mission through the portal. We find out is, again, all orchestrated by Hydra and has been for thousands of years. So he is playing the same type of character, and again, that really brings in the rest of the MCU and just connects those dots really nicely. I was a little curious why Ward was being left alone to torture these guys, but obviously there was sort of a hidden small plan within Malik to just test and see how good was Ward. And he, of course, has performed beautifully. So as a reward, he gets to hear the history of Hydra. And we get a little bit more about the creature that's on the planet as well. He is an inhuman, thousands of years old, was meant to rule. That's the only little bit that we get into it. And people didn't like that, and they sent him off through the portal. So Hydra was formed to try and retrieve him. For every generation, they have sent people through the portal. Now what Malik says is to save or to serve. So there's obviously been an effort to try and bring him back. But what else are the people doing that are being sent through? Are they food? There's really no evidence to that. I mean, even when we were on the planet, we saw skeletons, but we didn't really hear any kind of idea that this was a type of food, unless it's a sort of etheric feeding. Really not sure. But that does bring up the question, will Hydra? If they're sending people through to save or to serve, that would imply that the people being sent through have an idea of what is going on. Not necessarily the case. They could just be sending people through. Could have been that one of the people that went through, one of the other astronauts that went through with Will, was Hydra, and the other ones were just unwitting, accomplices. That's a possibility. I'm suspecting it's more of the former, that Will is a Hydra agent, and that would certainly be nice dirt for Fitz to have on him in the battle for the heart of Gemma. So it's just really nice catching all of these performances together, and even the realistic sense as Powers Booth as Gideon Malik is telling the story of the history of Hydra to Ward. Ward isn't just eating it up. That's a lot to take in at one moment. There's a bit. He's pulling it in. He's having that more humanistic, natural person response to the intensity of this information, even in a superpowered universe. That's a bit much to grab. But he does not take long to embrace it and to move forward. And his final scenes with Andrew, how he is basically looking to unleash Lash onto S.H.I.E.L.D. as a way further to get into Coulson and to hurt May even more is just awesomely evil, and I can't wait to see more of him. Another beast a little bit that was really nice is the introduction of Bobby's batons. I mean, she's used the batons before, but this is more of the comic book version where they're always coming back to her, much like Captain America's shield. And in this, it's just a quick 15-second, here's new equipment, we put on the invisible gauntlets, and that the batons right back to me, or right back to her. Is perfect. Really introduces the new thing, adds much more of a comic book element into things, but still in a realistic manner, something that we as an audience can see and understand and go, oh, okay, this is how it's happening. The exact mechanics, that's unimportant. As long as we have a feeling and understanding of why this is happening, we are willing to go in with the ride. So, that's a lot in this episode. I'm sure that there is stuff that I have missed. There was, again, just so much going in constantly. Was just an incredibly well done episode, just very tight from beginning to end. Now, we do have a couple weeks off. The next episode does not come up until December 1st, after the Thanksgiving holiday. Then we'll be back, and that looks like that's going to be Ward versus Coulson. That's going to be really intense. Looking forward to that. However, we are not going to be out of it Marvel-wise until then. In 2 days, Jessica Jones drops on Netflix. If you haven't seen the Daredevil series, you have missed out on some of the best television ever produced. It is not only just a great superhero show, it is a great show that happens to have a superhero in it. Amazingly well done. Really looking forward to the how Netflix can really embrace the Jessica Jones story. Not as well known a Marvel character that is going to change in 2 days. The darkness that Netflix can go into, the performances, the cast that they have, both Ritter and David Tennant, is just, this is going to be amazing. I will be doing reviews, probably not one per episode. I'll probably do one with a couple of episodes in it, because it's all dropping at once. I'll see if I can get something out this week, and it may not be until the beginning of next week, but I'll try and get something out soon. So, if you liked my ranting and raving here, please press like, feel free to subscribe, comments in the section below. I always look, I always appreciate what you guys have to say. I want to adjust the show so it's something that you guys enjoy seeing and will come back week after week. So on behalf of Hydra, I'd like to thank you all for flying the friendly skies. I'm Dee, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.